Thanks again for joining my stream and for watching. Today we are starting a new build, and that build is this guy here, CH-53 GS/G by Revell, 148th, skill level 5. This is a big boy, kind of like me. I think today we're just going to start with a lot of painting. There's, of course, a skill level 5 book from Revell. They've got a nice big booklet with all these colored images, nice big crisp diagrams. Yeah, Revell goes all out on their instructions for their skill level 5s. I will say that. I'll give them that. I think probably they spend too much time on the book and not enough time getting the fitment right on their models. But that's just me. In typical fashion, they want to start with the cockpit pieces. That's alright. In this, we have a great big decal sheet. Now, I'm probably only going to be using maybe only the bottom half of this sheet, all these on here, because this stuff up here, these are German and I think that's Swiss. I'm not sure what flag that is, the red and white one. I'm not sure. Obviously, I know the German, that's pretty obvious, but the red and white, I'm not sure who that is. I don't know if it's Swiss or French or something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm ignorant on that part. But I'm not building this as one of those. This model is assuming that I'm going to be painting it that green camouflage color. And so going through the book, it's telling me to paint things that off yellow, green, or yellow olive color on a lot of different little pieces. And I'm not going to be doing that. Although this model is molded in a very, very light gray. It's almost white, but not quite. It's a super light gray color. And as you can see, it's pretty big. Like that's a big model. And this is 148 scale. So this helicopter is freaking huge. Oh, and it comes with a Jeep. It comes with a Jeep to put inside, which I already built. I put it together and colored it all, painted it all up. I got myself a little Jeep. I put a whole bunch of little rust markings on it. And there, it's a little beat up. You know, even the front bumper's been dented and everything like that. Yeah, so yeah, that comes with this helicopter. So I have it with my little tugger from my F4. The tugger, of course, is a little smaller. Yeah, so anyway, I am building this. I'm using the gray colors of the Marines, not the camouflage colors of Germans or whoever else. Let me get a picture up here and I will show you what I am going for. This picture is as good as any. Just blow it up here. So no, it's not. It's terrible. This one looks good. That there. So I'm going for just the, you know, you could call it a boring marine gray, typical kind of colors. And the reason that I am going for that particular one is because I'm building, you could say I'm building Blackout from the Transformers movies. I thought that was kind of cool. He's really big and tough looking, and of course I think he's the very first Transformer that we see in the first Michael Bay Transformers movies. When he attacks a military base, it was pretty cool, and so I thought that was kind of neat. And so I decided to get a model of that particular helicopter, and so I'm going to paint it that gray color scheme. Now, in doing so, as you can see, there's obviously no marine decals on here at all. So I went online and I ordered a set of decals for the Marines. It's not specific to this helicopter, but it has all the Marine markings, and it has all like the intakes and warnings, danger logos, and the little USA, what do they call it, star and stripe, little star and stripes on the side. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So I have to wait for those to show up. So before I get into any exterior decals, I have to make sure that those show up first. So they're supposed to be coming USPS. So I don't know what kind of timeline I'm looking at. But in any case, I think it's funny, you know, because it's Revell, Germany, so German is the first language on their instructions in these. These give a history on the, you know, like to me, we'll put a little blurb of the description of the actual model in real life and what they do, what it's for, but there doesn't seem to be any history or anything like that, what they do. Yeah, looks like Revell. Yeah, see, even in the back, you can see what the decals in the painting. They're assuming that you're painting it either the camouflage green or this super dark green color. And there's just all the regular decals, the common decals as they call it, which is a lot. You can see that's quite a few going on there. But yeah, perfect example. The rotors, they want me to paint that olive green. And well, if it's a marine helicopter that's gray, it doesn't have green on it, right? So I have to kind of go against all that. In a lot of places where it tells me to paint something green, that's actually going to be gray. Now, I'm also not leaving it this light gray color. This is going to be, I've chosen the Ghost Gray by Tamiya. Light and dark Ghost Gray. So based on the pictures, like this picture here, you can see there's some parts that are the two colors, like this along here, on the front nose there, and then along across this. I don't think that's a fuel tank. I guess it's a fuel tank. I don't know what that is exactly. There's a little spot there, on the top of the top across the engine there, and then across the tail. So they got that darker gray. It almost looks like a little bit of a slight shade of blue, a blue gray in this picture. But looking at other pictures I've seen online, it's not blue. It's definitely just a darker gray. So the majority of the helicopter is I'm going to do the light Ghost Gray, and then for those other parts, like across here, across the top, and across the top here, that'll be the dark Ghost Gray. So I've got a lot of spray painting to do. Let me get my table set up so I can put this on there. Just so I can show you the different trees this comes with. So they've given me the tail rotor all in one piece right there, right? You can see it's big. big box this thing comes in. It's a big helicopter. And this one has they've got two options for rotor blades depending on which one you're building. So I don't know which one I'm going to do yet. There's your main floor of the helicopter. The tanks there. It's my own window blocks me half the time. And they've got this comes with a it's an anti. Not sure what they use. It's a great big honking gun that's on a tripod. I don't know if it's anti-aircraft gun or what it might be, but it sits on this here, and you got the two wheels, and then this gun goes together. And actually, it's a couple of pieces that were loose in the box. One of the jet intakes, and this piece here. I believe it looks like a firewall, but I think that's for that gun. Looks like front landing gear too. That was loose in the box when I opened it up, which happens sometimes. And then we've got the third tree here, or sprue, whatever you want to call it, with the other variation of the rotor blades, and then other tanks. Again, I don't know if these are tanks or if they're bombs. I think maybe it's an option you have. Or maybe these go underneath. I don't know. I haven't looked that much into the detail in the instructions to see exactly what all my options are yet. But I'll get to that as I go. And that is about it for this. So I guess I can kind of get started. I don't have to paint these. I can paint this off stream when I'm getting closer to actually getting pieces put on this. The fitment together on this is okay. Looks like it's going to go together fairly well. Can't see along the top here is pretty good and tight. Same with the tail. This looks like it goes together pretty good. Underneath, however, of course, is where we've got some flashing going on here. It'll have to be trimmed. And the seam here is not quite so nice. So I might wind up having to put a little bit of putty in there. See, sometimes when it's unpainted like this, everything looks really awful, and then once it's got some paint on it, it hides some of those imperfections. So, yeah, you can even see it on the camera there. If I tilt it the right way there, you can see the seam right here. Okay. Squeeze real hard, it still doesn't go away. It's still there, right? It's just the bottom is not as good as the top. Of course, I suppose if you got the thing sitting on the shelf, you're never seeing the bottom anyway. Anyway, so that's that. Well, if you want the seats of the cockpit painted light gray, which kind of works out to my advantage. Especially since this thing already is light gray. So even though they've marked the two here, and they have them very dark on the picture, but they're supposed to be light gray, and they want a decal put on them. And then the seat itself, they want that painted anthracite. Now, no. Revell seems to like the color anthracite a lot, and the particular brand of paints that I tend to buy, model color, they don't have anthracite. And so I've had to go online. What color is anthracite? What is it? And, you know, when you just do Google images, you get a variation of shades of dark gray, like a black gray kind of color. And it's like, well, I'm not sure which one it is then, because I don't actually know what Revell calls anthracite. What color is that? And yeah, when you look at this manual, as they go through and show you what colors, A, B, C, D, they're color code. Like, obviously this is red, right? Now they're calling this one fiery red, silk, whatever. That's not that important. And there's the anthracite. It's the first one they do, anthracite. And as you can see, it's a very dark color. Right here. You get the glare off of it. Okay. Now, from your perspective, it might look almost black, almost like this square, right? It's very super dark gray. But does that mean I just grab a really dark gray, like, I don't know, dark gray? Could I use that as the anthracite? I mean, it's not anthracite, it's just dark gray. Is that going to work? Is that going to be accurate to what they're actually wanting me to use? I don't know for sure. The other day, I was at the hobby store and I had to pick up a couple of paints and had to pick up some thinner. And after looking through this, I realized, okay, I do need a dark gray. I picked up this one called German gray. And I've painted it on the lid there, and you can see it is a dark gray. It's going to this camera here. See, it's just a very dark, very super dark gray. Okay. I went around the aisle to their testers paint, not testers, to their Revell paints, and went through looking to see if they actually had anthracite. And they did. So I got it. They had one left. Obviously, many people buy it. And of course, it's got the marking on the lid. And what I did is I opened it up and I put a little dab of it on the lid so that I get the actual color. So you can see the texture of it there. It is a super dark gray, and it pretty much matches exactly this German gray. I was thinking maybe the anthracite might have maybe a little metallic pigment to it or something. I really had no idea. But no, it is really just a super dark gray, and that's what they call anthracite. And so, I now have lots of it, because this is going to be my anthracite, even though it's just German gray. And that's that. So there you go. So anthracite is really just a very super dark gray color. Okay, moving on. Another thing I don't really like about this particular one, I'd say, usually you have all these different trees and the models, they label them A tree, you know, the sprue is A, B, C, D. And then in here in the instructions you would say A35 and A36, and then you go, this part is from B47. And then you go to the particular tree and you look for it and you can do that. They have not done this with this. Basically what they've done is they've just numbered the trees basically 1 to 175 or whatever the hell it is. And no A, B, C, D, or E or anything like that. So you literally have to hunt each tree to find the particular number that you want. And I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it is a bit of a pain in the ass. So that is another little complaint I have, I guess you could say. Anyway, so I need number 5 and number 91 and 92. I was just looking over at this, kind of look like these little buckets, and sure enough, they are them, 91 and 92. Do 91 first. There's 91. 92. These are all in like 90s to 100s, so number 2, 94. Yeah. These are all in the 100s. These ones are all in the 70s, but yet they have number 10. Or is it 10? Oh no, 70s. Well, but we got 37 and 22. I might as well take this off the tree now. Number 9. See, so there you go. Mixed in amongst number 74 is also number 9. So even on the tree, there's no real rhyme or reason. So you're basically just hunting the whole thing down, looking on every tree to find the parts you want. I'm looking for number 5 and 6. Number 5, that looks like them. Looks like they've given me seat belts as separate pieces too. And the control stick is separate as well. Oh no, they're just telling me the seat belts are not separate. They're molded on there. They're just highlighting them to tell me I need to paint the buckle silver. Let's see, number 6 is the joysticks. Over here. Nope. So where's number 6? You would think number 6 is close to where number 5 was, but it does not appear to be that way. They're way over here. What I might end up doing is I might end up cutting this down the middle so that these big sprues are a little less cumbersome to work with. Okay, a couple little joysticks. I'm going to go right there in the holes, but I need to clean up these a little bit first. Seat cushions on these things are really thick. These helicopter pilots really get some nice cushioning for their butts. it's going to go in just like that. Okay, let's get the glue opened up here. Alright, so there's one, the little joystick control there. Both seats get them. There we go. That's both seats gone. So going back to the colors, they're pointing this at that little box kind of thing that's on the side of the seat, right? This little box thing that's on the side there, they're pointing at that. I don't know if that means they want only this to be black, or if they want the whole seat black. Oh, we got a little headrest that needs to go on there too. Number 90. I don't see it pointing to the actual seat cushion. Other than telling me the seat cushion, the headrest, I guess you call it, you want that a medium gray. So I think what I'm going to do is I will paint this little block here. I'll paint that black, and I'll do all the seat bracket and everything. I'll do all that black, and I'll leave the cushions the light gray. That's what I'll do. But I gotta look for number 90, the headrests. That's a challenge with this, is finding where it is, and I mix up the numbers so much. I don't see it there. Not seeing it there. Yeah, there it is. There we go. So I want the headrests medium gray. So I will I think I'll paint them off of the model. That'll probably make my life a little easier, painting them by themselves and then assembling them. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll get these painted and clean that up a little bit. Okay. So we want this color, and we want a medium gray. Medium gray. That looks kind of medium. Paint the headrest first. Paper towel. Tricky is picking a spot to hold on to this. I know what to do. I'll do like I would if I was spray painting them. Just like that. That way. You can paint them and get every edge. Or at least every edge that will be visible, and I will not have to repaint. There we go. 2 headrests painted medium gray. Okay, now I'm going to be bad and just go straight to the dark. Straight to the dark without cleaning my brush. Once these are done, I'm going to have to let them dry. And then I think I'm going to have to call it quits for this part 1 video. I can hear myself being summoned downstairs. this. Just grab that for now. Now, the unique thing about this particular, in comparison with an airplane, the cockpit in the airplane, of course, is one of those things you want to have as much detail as you can in realism, because you can have the canopy open and you can have the cockpit exposed and see all that nice beautiful detail and all the hard work you put into it. With this particular helicopter, there's no open canopy. The seats are kind of set far back, and of course there's not a huge amount of light that's going to be entering the canopy, and that basically means there's going to be a lot of detail that I'm never going to see. And yes, it's a little unfortunate, but at the same time, it allows for any mistakes that I may make, or any blunders, bloopers, blotches, that I can actually not have to worry about. And if I can make mistakes and not have to worry about them, that's a bonus. Now I'm at that point where I need to let this dry so that I can paint the front edge. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just let that sit aside here for a minute, and I will work on the other seat. While I wait for that one to dry a little bit. The thing that's kind of different about this paint that I bought yesterday, it's very thick in contrast to a few other of my paints. And at first, when I started painting it, what went through my mind was it's very thick, it's going to dry fast, and you'll see the brush strokes in it very easily. But it's actually not doing too bad. Yeah, it's thick, and yeah, you can see the brush strokes. If you really look close, but it's not bad. Okay, and that one's done. Got a little bit of an oops there, a couple of little spots that looks like maybe my bristle touched by mistake. But that's okay. This looks dry enough that I can kind of manipulate it a little bit here. Look at this front edge. And then call this one done. I will call you done. There we have it. So I've got our frame painted up. Where's my hand? All painted up there. Keep going off camera. All done. I don't know if you can see it all that great with the super brightness that it is. But there's that. This is still very wet. This one, I'm going to touch up that little spot there. That is the nice thing about these paints. Sometimes you get a little spot where you've made a little mistake. You can just let it dry and then just scrape the paint right off. And then your mistake is gone. And that one's now done. Okay. Let me go clean my brush off, and I will be back in a moment. Alright, so now that's done. Brush is clean. You can now put those seats into their little buckets. I'm really hoping my audio is okay. Some issues I had in the last week. It's like my system was trying to find too many microphones to use, including ones that weren't even connected anymore. And I was just getting, it's like depending on what I was using, if I just was replaying the video, there was no sound at all. If I put it in the video editing program, it was going And then Revell, and in my chat, I think it was yesterday morning, was telling me on live it was going, and yeah, it's not good at all. Okay, so the seeds go into the buckets. So I don't know, I think it's just going to go like that. Like that, or is it sit higher? I think it just goes like that. Just like that. Bucket one. Bucket two. And then we have our headrests. Headrests. Like that. The seat isn't glued on enough. Okay, done and done. Seats are assembled. And with that, I'm going to call it short stream for today, just because I've got to go do things. So there we go. We have our seats assembled, ready to be put into the cockpit. Painted according to the instructions. Next time, we have more of the interior put together. I keep calling it interior, like it's a car, but it's not. Putting in the, I gotta paint this guy. They want this strip painted the anthracite, and then they want this painted olive, but we're not doing olive, are we? No, we're doing gray. So I'm gonna hit this with the light ghost gray, and then on this is going to be, basically I'm going to just do a flat black. It's going to be inside the helicopter, you're not going to tell. And then we've got our cockpit here, we've got a firewall that goes there, instrument panel, all that stuff, but all this has to be painted. So I'll do that next time. So, for now, I'm going to say thank you for watching the stream. Thanks for coming out, all that good stuff. I think I'm going to just finish this up for the day, and that'll be it. So, like I said, thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll post this up on my YouTube, so in case you missed me live, you get to see this, and maybe you're interested in seeing the Sikorsky, what is it, CH-53? Yeah, I got it right, CH-53. Yeah, and then you can follow me on there, do thumbs up, likes, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. If you want to take a look at my F4U Corsair build, I've posted up the pictures on my Instagram, so you can take a look at those. I think one thing I might do is I might take pictures of this as I go along, and post that on my Instagram so you can see kind of the process in still picture form. I might do that, and yeah, I think I will. So I'll take pictures as I go along, and then people can, you guys can take a look at that and see the process in still pictures. I'll do that this time. Yeah. Anyway, so thanks again, and we'll see you next time.